Line. I'm Jim here with my co-host Julie, and today we're diving into the strategy, tech, and mindset behind one of the fastest growing tools in real estate, Deal Sauce.
Our guest today is someone who's not just a creative finance expert and a sub-two leader. He's a co-owner of Deal Sauce, a pioneer of micro-family investing, and someone who's helping everyday investors build big wins with small properties and smart tools.
Today's guest is someone who's leading a charge in multiple areas of real estate, creative finance, multifamily, microfamily, and smarter acquisitions. He's a sub-2 instructor, 2024 Community Member of the Year, and creator of the Micro Method. He is the co-owner of Deal Sauce. Please welcome Justin Tuminowski.
Yeah.
All I can hear is the applause in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. Friends. We're seeing each other in the end of this week, next week.
Yeah. A week away.
A week away.
California.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's a week, not even a week away. Wow.
That's right. Yeah. Super excited.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Well, we're pumped about Deal Sauce. I have it. Julie, I know you use it. Yes. And it's been just blowing up and helping so many people out. So we'd love to learn a little bit about that. I don't even know myself how it all came together. I remember hearing there's something exciting coming to our community, and now it seems to be everywhere. You mind sharing a little bit of like how that all happened? I mean, how you got into software?
Yeah, and I am not a software person, so that's the funniest part of it. Honestly, we got a shout out to Pace Morby, is the man who gives blessings and who's honestly graced me with this opportunity. And I just know that I've heard him many years ago say, listen, sometimes you get an opportunity and I'll give people opportunities, and you'll never know when that it comes, or you'll never know if you get another one. And honestly, every time there's something that comes through, I was always just kind of a yes man. And although like some of the time you don't want to be that yes man all the time, you want to try to say no. One of the times it was, long story short, because it is kind of funny, but I get a message that's in my calendar, right? I have a Google Calendar a couple of years ago, and I had this thing pop up, and it was software update or software demo. And honestly, the name on it was like a foreign name. Someone who gave me the invite. I don't know who they are. And I'm like, how did this mofo get in my calendar? And I was pissed. I am never pissed. I'm never because it doesn't happen. And I go, I'm going to block this person. Jim and Julie, I swear to you on my children, I've never blocked anyone before, but for some reason, I'm going to block this person because I'm mad. I think I deleted it, and then it came back, and I was BS. And it's the God honest truth. And so I block it. A couple weeks go by. I get a text message. Hey, Justin, are you coming to the software demo? I'm like, who is this? Pace had asked me to bring you or invite you. I'm like, sure he did. Sure. Okay. Yep. What salesperson is this now?
Right.
And I go, hey guys, I was very polite. Thankfully I was very polite, but I was like, guys, I don't know, but I'm sort of like an employee. I'm already involved in some of the back end of like New Reach and Sub2. I'm kind of in there.
You would know, right?
You don't need to sell me anything, and I was trying not to like be like, hey, just so you know, I'm an employee. No, I was just trying to be polite about it. And he's like, no, Pace really asked me. So I go, say no more. I said to myself, I'm like, all right, Justin, what's the worst that can happen? You got to show up. If it's a demo, you just drop out, just like get out. And it is what it is. Huh. So I show up, and I've said this story before. I show up and I see one familiar face. I see a bunch, like 6 people I don't know. And then I see Jamil on an elliptical.
Get out of here.
And Jamil's on elliptical. And then a couple moments later, he's like, what's up, Justin? It's the only face I know. And then 2 minutes later, I see like Pace. He's like, hey, everyone, welcome. Yeah, Tuminowski doesn't know why he's here. And I'm like, oh, you did it, you son of a gun. I got Pace Morbid. So he really just, honestly, I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful. I know this. Thank you for listening to this part of the story. There's a little bit of nuance to it. There's some funniness to it, but at the end of the day, he wanted someone. Here's where I get the lesson is, Pace is the opportunity provider, opportunity magnet, the lead magnet, the generator, but he's not going to sit in that lead. He's going to hand the torch over and then go get the next one.
That's
And
right.
that's what he
Right.
did here with me. He goes, I need you to be my eyes and ears. This is a software. You're a lead generator. There was no expectations. We didn't talk about anything about money, time. It was, he just knows. He says that we have like this telekinesis, is what he said to me before. He's like,
Wow.
you and I just are on the same wavelength sometimes. And he goes, I don't really have to say much to you. You just kind of know what to do.
Wow.
And that's a compliment, I think, at the same notion where I get to be his eyes and ears. And I've solely represented him and Jamil for the most part in this endeavor. And Josiah, who was a silent partner, but he's the man behind New Reach in getting those boys catapulted. So I'm really honored, honestly, to be trusted with this position. And I've taken it to heart. So
That's incredible.
yeah, I'm glad I went to that meeting. And I can tell you that there was one other person I think that I saw in that email chain who was probably doing the same thing I did, and they didn't go to that meeting.
Wow.
And although that's unfortunate for them, I was like, wow, maybe they would, I don't know what the results would have been like. I don't know if they would have been,
Right.
the same opportunities that came from it. So I'm just grateful. So anyway, lead generation. I love fishing. I love fishing, and I love fishing for leads and deals. And, we've all had these other, batches and prop streams. So they're coming out with the software and they want to do their own thing. And then fast forward Pace, I'm in it. And he's like, he told me the backstory why when we were golfing one day. And these other companies, they come in, they want to cut us down. They want to use my voice. They want to use my name, my likeness, my brand. And next thing you know, PropStream is acquired by like a hedge fund, and they go from X amount of affiliate dollars to dollars. And you want to use me? Nope. I'm going to create my own.
That's right.
And that's
Powerful.
It's powerful for us to be able to watch these business transactions. I look at this 17 different ways, and I won't go into all of them, but there's something for everything. There's the part of Pace bringing someone else in, who, not how. We're all learning these things. So he gives the right who. That was me. He gives the right, he goes in, I'm going to create my own. Every part of the real estate game he wants to own. Why let someone else own it?
That's right.
Yeah. So he'll create it. And why not? That's the way to the top. And that's the way to become the biggest brand and the biggest community, I think. And that's what he's striving for. And I know all of us have a fraction of that. And the fraction will be all the slices of the pie will create one whole pie. And we all get to eat.
I love it.
That's so good. I mean, I still find it to be so powerful that you're in this room. Is this a Zoom? You said, right? You're in a Zoom at first, and you're seeing all stuff coming together. And so how much time was it from there to? I mean, this wasn't an overnight thing. There had to be months and months of just constant work to get this thing going.
I have a year and a half in, a little over a year and a half. So, talk about there were like Jamil had a set of teammates in there, and again, I won't go too deep, but there were folks that dropped out. There were some other, because there was a representative that he brought like 2 or 3 people in.
Okay.
And it was a survival of the fittest, and I'll tell you that I learned a lot of lessons on that end too, because when you think you're going to launch in, I don't know, April, May, June, every month it was like, oh, we're gonna go live. I'm like, oh, we're gonna go live. Nope. We just went live in like January. We were supposed to go, I don't know, half a year ago. So how about that? Testing patience, testing tenacity, and there's a lot that comes with it. Again, figuring out, like, you're trusting people. You're not seeing it. You're not getting a dime. You're not seeing a dime. So I'm not here to talk about those things, but I think there is a test of like the willpower, and like, if you're going to go and start a business, be an entrepreneur, go into a startup, go into any type of business, you better be prepared for, again, we always know this, Jim, you know this, Jules, you know this. Everything's always over budget, always a lot more time.
Yes.
It doesn't change ever. I'm learning that it never changes. Everything is always 3 times longer, more expensive. And I'm finally just starting to get that. And
Absolutely.
so I'm just grateful. And I think the coolest part about this is it's just the beginning, and it's for all of us.
Yes.
And if Jules or Jim has something to say and has a request, it's not like you're going to go to the unknown.
Right.
You're going to be able to go to this community and you can be like, hey guys, do you think we can do something like this? If there's a great idea,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of cool.
Very cool.
That's
You know,
awesome. Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that. That's so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that story is incredible. Definitely determination and wit. Survival of the fittest. We love it. That's what it is. Rotors Club, right?
yeah,
Not for the faint of heart.
Month after month, is this thing going to go or not? And there's always a roadblock and an obstacle, and you're going up against other platforms that are already been around, right? If they're out there, they have their following.
yeah. You know, you just got to trust that we have one of the biggest names right now behind it, and there is a time, you know, in a season of everything. I don't care who you are.
All right.
So that was one of the biggest things, and I think we're just starting to get going. Like, honestly, it was grassroots. Pace really didn't talk about it too much early on. He just started picking up steam after Squad Up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all part of his plan. Again, I don't know all the plans. And, you know, I was the marketing, I was the everything for a long period of time. Again, but it's cool. I'm grateful. And yeah, we're just getting going, and where he's trying to go and take over bigger pockets and become the biggest name and the biggest brands.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really powerful too. So maybe it's just the beginning. See.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible. There was something I was curious of. Did you find that there was something wrong or broken with the other platforms out there that you were able to improve on? Like there's, right, you're making this new thing. So you have what you mentioned already about, you know, they're pushing people out to get into this investor hedge fund level. You're using Pace's name and, you know, taking advantage of that, right, to a point. But now you're doing this whole new platform. I imagine there's things that you're finding that would say, hey, PropStream doesn't have this, or this other, you know, platform doesn't have this. Here's how we could stand apart.
Yeah, 100%. Because you have to understand, I sit in dev meetings. So with the developing team, there's two sets of teams. I've sat out in at least two meetings per week for the last year and a half. And in those meetings, we go through, and I have a checklist here. I was just going through it when I was backstage with you guys earlier, but it is 100 and some odd requests that I personally put in here. You know, everything from, I want land watch, Crexy, for sale by owners. I want a live feed. Why can't I? Tell me why I can't. There's probably a reason why, but I'm going to put it in here.
Sure.
And, but there's bugs and things. So I will look through all these items. Sure. You know, I think one of the biggest things they told me is I've learned a lot about software, honestly, and it's the things you think are going to take the most time. Usually are not. It's the things that are the smallest that usually take the most time. That's what we're learning. I'm learning. But you know, the sexiness, the big thing was there was, what was the other one that a lot of folks were using? It was Privy.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Very, I'm not a Privy user, but there was, you know, very sexy features, very nice, I don't know, layouts and interaction. PropStream, same thing. There are heat maps and some of those things. We just have to understand that we're not going to be the sexiest out of the gate, because another little, I'm going to go nerdy on here, but the software guys teach me all these things. They're like, if you launch a product and it's 100% complete and ready to go, you've missed the window. And these guys have been doing it for a long time. They've had other successful apps and whatnot. So why not just trust what they say? But that was the one thing we kept cracking the whip of, like, guys, we need improvement. And there's a lot of that. Hey, this little thing, these words are run on. They're actually stacking on. It should be one continuous word, but the bubble broke it up into two lines. We don't like that. Let's get rid of it. Something as simple as that to, how about we get double closes? I want to see transactions that were, I don't know, 1 day to 7 days. If you recorded it twice, I want to know who was in there. I want to see that opportunity. And I don't think PropStream has that. Those are the things that we pulled out.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're throwing out question after question, or like, could we do this? Can we do that? How do we improve on this? And you're over 100 of these things to get where you're at today.
Everything. I mean, I'm looking at here, print pages right on there, equity buttons on filters, fix commercial data. Example was giving RV parks. Like, we ran RV parks and we didn't get a good sum on that page. Let's go figure out why. Intra-family transfers. I want to be able to search those. Hedge fund buy box. That's active. Actually, I was just working on that. Hedge funds are buying again.
Oh,
The glory days of wholesaling where the hedge funds were buying and they were paying crazy amounts of money to wholesalers. They're buying again, and they were actually buying creative deals too, I'm hearing.
Wow.
Let's create a button that searches for buy boxes for hedge funds. And then we got to solve the problem of actually marrying the hedge fund to the person who has the opportunity. But that's where JV comes in. That's where we can promote getting other people their deals. And you can be a person, you can clean up that side of the market. If you have a contact in the hedge fund and people know to go to you,
Oh man,
we're creating like you can just sit there and be a broker of deals.
Oh, the opportunity there is limitless.
Yeah. So getting our buy boxes in there, being able to underwrite and then click a button and have the, fractional or fund your deal. That's something I'd like to put in.
I love that. Yeah, that would be cool.
They have a whole list. There's other providers that want to come in, other data providers that, I've been testing. Maybe you've heard this or not, but I've been testing late mortgage data. So if you're 30, 60, 90, 120 days late, but you haven't been given a notice of default.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So those are good ones. So what are you doing with that? You're looking at capturing that data, and it's pretty accurate, right? Because they report to the bureaus right away.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly where the data is coming from, but I could imagine that I even would imagine some of the servicing companies are now starting to sell that data.
Okay.
I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah, I have a suspicion. So, I mean, the credit bureau would be really late, I would think. But if I can start to see you're 30 days behind, I might not go after that because, listen, servicing, checking, things happen. 60, 90, 120 days.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're catching someone before they go pre-foreclosure.
That's right.
Before everyone starts door knocking, before everyone starts to get to that data. That's where I'm looking at the opportunities.
All right.
And it's just another closure. Yeah. Before
any list pendants is filed, you're getting the data.
And then that's like a $10,000 bump, or that's, they file that notice of list pendants, that bankruptcy, that trustee is going to get.
Oh yeah. All the fees that get tacked down there.
Yeah. So I look at those things going like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I can tell you case study after case study, like go now. Like before you start getting blown up or whatever it is. I don't know. So I've tested that data and I'd like to bring those guys in, and they have really good probate data.
Wow.
So yeah, like
that'd be huge.
Bro, and they gave me a whole list. It was 100 of area that I wanted. And they give you 5 relatives all skip trace too. So they do all the homework for you.
Wow.
Now, I'm not a probate person.
It's a game changer.
Maybe you will be soon.
It's a lot of work. But again, it's trying to be better than the next guys. It's trying to be the best. Right. Let's try to give our community, our people, anyone who wants to follow us, let's give them, get in front of the best stuff and not just like a machine gun of things.
For sure. So all these features, is that automatically included as you roll these things out? Does the membership change? How does that work for folks that are already a member or want to be members? There's different levels for that.
Yeah. And that's going to be somewhat above my pay grade, but we are actively trying to. Pace has been not happy with the whole subscription that we have. He just wanted to break it up for more digestible so people can get more features for a little bit more money, but not have to go big swings, 100 to 200. How about 100 to 140 to get the features you want? So a la carte.
Yeah.
So I think they're actively trying to do that right now. I know it's for the first time in a long time. It's actively in negotiations, and the data is just very expensive, especially the fix and flip data. So we pulled 12,000 fix and flippers. You guys are going to have a free list to give to all your listeners. You guys can put that in a Google Drive or a shareable link, but that's skip traced.
Hold on, 12,000 people. What'd you say?
12,000. Yeah.
So it's going to be 12,000 fix and flippers across the country that have flipped between 3 and 40 properties in the last year. And It's across the country. So you're going to have some from every state. And what else do we have? So it's about 11, it's like 11,500. I pulled 12,000. We skip traced it. It was $1,100 to skip trace. And yeah, you guys will have that list.
That's a huge giveaway.
Oh, thank you, Justin. We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's so that tier is that list came from a tier that is above and beyond the basic subscription, unfortunately. But I always say, like, you should be able to get your first 10 to 30 deals, 1 to 30 deals without having to do anything and buy the extra tiers. But if you are a person who likes to buy tools and get the best tools to do the best job and you can afford it, you buy better upgrades. You buy the data. If you're going to go find private money lenders, which we have, that's the data you're going to go pay for.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of deals, you can go find fix and flippers, or you're a gator looking to lend money out to fix and flippers, you're going to go get that list that I just gave you.
Wow.
I love it. So you can keep rolling back in some of your funds into the next level.
I mean, yeah, I'm a big proponent of, or I'm an advocate, I should say, of purchasing tools and
100%.
the right tools. I'm not a subscription junkie. I don't want to have a million of them. And you don't want to be, that's like the shiny object. I got an LOI blaster. I have Deal Sauce. I have PropStream. I have Batch. I have Go High Levels.
Later, sure.
As long as you're using them.
Right.
I don't want you buying, I don't want you going broke buying all this stuff. But you need to have a deal. You need a data provider like us. You need to be able to look up. I don't care if you're a fix and flipper, an agent. Agents only get access to MLS in their own MLS. They don't get the whole state. They don't get their whole country.
Right.
What do we have? We have the 50 states. Wow. Although it's not as fast as the MLS as the feed, although we do have feeds, you still get to get in and see sold, pending, and bought and active and all the things. So expireds. It's a necessary tool for investing. I don't care where you are, but yeah.
Love that. We want to roll into maybe some stuff for
some demo.
Yeah.
Let's do some demo, guys. Sure.
Yeah. So I'll show you.
So there's many ways to use the system here, right? There's all types of, as you mentioned, different leads you can pull, different filters you can do. And we were talking before we went live about potentially looking at fix and flip opportunities as one of the many.
Absolutely. So you can. So right here, property search, you have leads. Again, always redesigning. I mean, I don't like this name. It says leads, but it should be residential. All right. Like that drives me crazy. And I just had this box moved, but residential, commercial, and then the find and fix and flippers, that's a different tier. That's an extra feature. So I just want to be very clear. In the basic subscription, everyone will get, and if you don't mind me going through this real quick, just for anyone listening, the basic subscription gives you all you need. So residential, commercial, so your RV parks all the way to your single families and up to like 4 to 5 unit buildings. But here's one cool thing that I just want to tell people that is such a difference between PropStream and anyone else. You get to bring in the homies for nothing. All right. One subscription gets you Andrew, CJ, Eric, Nadine. I got my agent. I have Victoria from Sub 2. I got Chris Geddes. I mean, like, shame on my friends for not coming in here. But like one subscription and you get to bring people in. And that right there can pay for itself. $97 or whatever it is. If you've $80 a month, you got 10 people in there.
That's how I joined. I'm part of a group.
Yeah. So it's that's crazy. And I think that comes down to the point of, like, they're not looking for greed. They're looking just to get people doing deals. And that's the number one thing Pace has always told me. He goes, bro, we need leads in our community. Number one, leads. He thinks about that all day. It's crazy. So fix and flippers, onto that. Now we just have heat maps. We won't get into all of it, but we have 12 heat maps that are coming out. There's only a handful up at the top here, but we have flips by zip, flips by county. If you're looking to just peruse the states and look for different markets or look for a good market, I would recommend doing something like this. It can get you in like, I don't know, a good area, right? To do a little bit more research. It gets you to the next step. I would suggest maybe going to do some research if you're unsure about a market. San Miguel, we've only registered 4 flips in that county. It's New Mexico. I'm Guadalupe, 24. I don't know, but
Yeah.
based off of this, I'm gonna stay out of there.
Mhm.
So the
Um,
darker the color, is it more activity?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we have 1,100 flips in here.
It's a lot, yeah.
Average delta
Okay.
600 grand. Average profits 8% of the deals. There's 8% of those deals, but that's a big metric, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of activity going on. So that's just one little instance, but we can get out of this. Let's do this. Get out of here. And yeah, we can just do our basic searching if we want. I know, Jules, you and I on your podcast, we were going through, Florida, and we were going through
Yep.
Texas, and we were doing
Texas.
commercial.
Mhm.
But for the finding fix and flippers, I'll just show you briefly what we pulled for that 12,000 person list. And I'll show you the type of data that's kind of cool. Well, it's really cool. So we're going to go for flippers,
Mhm.
and we're going to go, I don't know, let's go Maricopa County, I guess. Oh, you know what? We'll just go wherever this is. Mom and pop landlords. Let's
What are
do.
those quick searches? Are those preset ones down there below?
Yeah, those are. Well, this is actually probably Eric with Alexis Morgan's save search. So whatever she likes to do for a lender, for
Mhm.
lenders, I think Eric must have done that. So that's like my team. All right. And
Set their search filters and they can just click it quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we actually have some Gator filters coming in very soon for this section of the software. Again, this is an upgrade, but we have a Gator, some Gator lists that are coming in, and it's just quick search filters.
Very nice.
So we'll go Maricopa County, and we're going to pull up fix and flippers. We'll give it a minute to get all this data. And what we're going to be able to get out of these 4 search criteria points, again, for anyone listening, it's going to be private money lenders, note holders, landlords, and fix and flippers. So right now we're going to go for fix and flippers, and there's 13.3 thousand. And you can see right at the top of the heap is Open Door,
Yeah.
one of the biggest, Lennar, Zillow. But of course they should be in here. And we're not filtering this data just yet. And what I tried to do with this list that you guys are giving away, I
Mhm.
tried to filter those folks out. So I filtered it by a minimum of 3 flips that they've done. Because you know what? You might register 1 or 2. I don't really want to deal with them potentially, because I want to leave the errors out of there.
Right.
Let's get the folks that are registering maybe 3 or more.
Makes
So we're
sense.
going to get 3 or more. We could have went with profit and purchase price and all those things, but again, I didn't want to pigeonhole certain parts of the country with like dollar amounts.
Mhm.
So I just did it by, I think, 1 year.
Okay.
We had 800,000 or so flippers across the country. I think we limited it down to 12,000, 12 of the best.
Gold data. Thank you again.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what you get. But I mean, again, you can come in here and see, look at these folks. Like, sure, they're big dogs, real property acquisitions, 127 deals. Now we could be doing wholesalers. Like, we don't know exactly. We're looking at their delta. We're looking
Right.
at what they bought it for and sold it for. They could just be a dope wholesaler who's double closing.
Yeah.
I mean, but at
Point.
the end of the day, you're still a flipper.
Yes, that's
Yes,
true. And
that's true.
120, 125. There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Open Door, of course, you get a bunch, but like MTB Invest, 101. They've had a gross profit, average profits about 100 grand. They've made $11 million, and their average purchase price of an asset is 300 grand. So
Solid.
yeah. So it's, there's going to be little outliers here and there, and you got to look at the data. But the real thing about it is just the amount of research you would have to do to get to these people is just what you're paying for. You're paying for time versus money.
Mhm.
Because I can tell you right now, it's hours upon days and weeks and months to get. If you tried to do that yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're paying a small fraction of the cost of what this would be in your time.
If you got one lender out of this, or if you sold one deal, I guarantee you it's probably worth it.
All
You know what I
day.
mean? And like, so right now with the upgrade, again, I'm not selling anything. Please, 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 not selling anything. Take the list that you guys have. But what they're doing a one-time fee right now. Like, they're not doing it monthly as of right now. It's just a one-time for the life of Deal Sauce. You get the access in here. But I'd like to see the subscription, like we talked about earlier, a little bit more digestible so more folks can get in here.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's the finding fix and flippers. You can get the landlords. You can go in there and get note holders. So, think about a note holder. If you really wanted to do this, I know Kevin Cho was doing this for a long time back in the day, but he was holding similar, but he was using a VA. He was going old school. He did that same list, but he was pulling like seller finance type opportunities, but they sold it. So they're a note holder.
Mm.
But then he had his VAs hustling across the country, organically doing that data. And then what he was doing was calling those note holders, being like, hey, hold on. I know you sold 123 Main Street. You're a lender now. However, do you have any more seller finance? And the first call he did, he got an opportunity.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's rare.
That's
But
Yeah.
like, it was cool to see that Kevin did that list, but he did it himself through VAs, through time, where it's like you click the button, now it's
You click
done.
one button, a
Easy
couple
button.
buttons and filters, and it's here.
Crazy.
You made the easy button for real estate, Justin. That's what you did here.
So, we have all sorts of opportunities, and like active on market. This was just something recent that we were looking at, but you get your active on market for your audience, and you got the agent's information. So again, the whole excuse was, to eliminate people having an excuse. It's, you don't tell me you can't pay for skip tracing. Like, you're not skip tracing the agent's information. You don't have to go anywhere else. It's all right here. So if you got if you're a free member or a free guest, you didn't pay for that. You don't have to pay for the skip tracing here. Go get a Google Voice number. That's free. And that has been my argument every point of this, where I'm trying to mitigate anyone being able to come to me and say, oh, but I don't have.
Right.
What do you have?
Expensive, or it's
too expensive to skip trace. I don't have this. I can't. Yeah, it's right there.
What do you have again? I'm sorry. Did you sneeze? So, yeah. And then more recently, we just brought in, I know I'm jumping around, but more recently we brought in Dean. This is the first version of AI inside of here. I'd like it to be a little bit more interactive with being able to do the underwriting. We're getting there. But I brought in a Dean that it's called Dean because it's paying tribute to Dean Graziosi. Someone Pace, obviously adores, and it's an acronym, and it's really my way of. Dean was one of the first books I read. I took a gamble. I was like, man, I'm gonna make a decision here for everybody. I didn't think we would have a problem with it. And, but yeah, that was my way of paying it forward for Pace so he can pay it forward to Dean. And
that's so cool.
Dean Graziosi's here.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Hey, Justin, we got a question from in the chat. So thankful for being here, Justin. If they're looking for a seller financing 4342 in Fort Lauderdale, how easy can that be?
Sure. Let's go. Well, we could do that a couple different ways. So let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Sorry guys, I hit the wrong button.
Good question.
So think about it, what a seller finance opportunity is. It's a free and clear property. So what I would do, one of the easiest, quickest, fastest, what I would do is probably go into the expireds, or I would go on active on market and count the days on market. Let's look for something that has some pain. Now you can go to the note holders like we just talked about. Now, I don't know if we have to, can I do just Fort Lauderdale? Lauder? Do I have to do FORT? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. Let's see.
There we go.
Oh, perfect.
We have to do the whole. So right away we see, now you can go after these guys too. Although these are wholesale opportunities. So everything in a blue at the top of the feature. I call this, when anyone shops on Amazon, you go sponsored. It's always sponsored. That's what I call these. These are wholesale opportunities. But listen, guys, if you're a connector, you know someone buying in Sarasota, Winter Haven, North Fort Lauderdale, like, you could wedge yourself into a deal there. Like, because you might know someone who's buying, who's not in here. And the deal's posted in here. So be astute, be aware. of those opportunities in here. And then if you still see them, reach out to the wholesaler. Again, side note, but there's always ways of making money in here. You just have to think outside the box and you have to take the action, really. So let's go filters. Free and clear is an easy one. You can do that. We have 50,000 free and clear properties. They're condos, single families, multifamily, townhomes. We can eliminate a lot of those if you don't want to buy the townhomes and the condos. However, let's go active listings. 2,100, 2,200. Let's get rid of the condos. Let's get rid of townhomes. I heard we're up in the country 70%. The condos have risen 70% in on market.
Is that
Wow.
right?
For inventory.
Wow.
So we have 1,000 even right now.
Wow.
So we could do something like this, and then we can go to the filter at the top. We can go days on market, and let's see what we come up with. Let's pick one. This one's 0% LTV, 1.5, 1.5, rental, active, been on since maybe February. Let's see. Oh gosh, it says 2023. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's either going to be it's either stale, the listing stale, or, but I would pull through this list and rip through it. 4/14/2025. Now we look at, you'll notice something too. This says 2023, but when we went backwards, right? It said 420 something.
Yeah.
Here.
2025. Yeah.
2025. That was the last status change. So
Okay.
often if it was pending, if it was on market, if it was under agreement, contingent, and it flipped back, we're looking at that last status change.
Mm.
So
It's
they
good
may have,
activity, right? It's recent activity.
it's the most recent activity. Exactly. So I would do this. You have 2 listings here, but 2 listings with 2 different bed counts, different square footage.
Picture, same address. So what information do you get? Like if you open one of these up, like how much data can somebody get from one of these?
Here, let's go do, you can get, I don't know, you can get all sorts here. Let's go into something. So we're going to go in. So you see all this badness here that we got going on. You got mechanics lien, delinquent, free and clear, active listings. You know,
It's nice to have it there on top though, like that. It gives you that little highlight.
yeah. So you can see that there potentially is other investments here. We try to eliminate the resident agents, meaning we are aware of PO boxes. We are aware of, the UPS boxes. So we try to get ahead of that where it could give you skewed data. Now you're not going to get everybody. So most likely if you went into these other properties, you might see that this person owns all these. So we're giving you a snapshot of what they have. But then again, you get your mortgage data. I mean, there's nothing here. It's free and clear, but that mechanics lien was from 2021. We could see it was, I don't know, is it really for $40? But oh, sorry, Jules, go ahead.
Grass cutting. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Well, I've actually seen some other ones imposed, but you can go in and go find this for yourself and go in if you're really maybe talking to the seller. At least gives you the lead. It gives you enough to go forward and go, all right, let me go check this out. And we give you all the data. For all I know, that's probably like the fee that it costs to record.
Yeah, right.
But you never know. So what I would do is I'd go back to here. Let me go into filters. I want to get rid of active listings. Let's go into listing information. I want to go to expireds. I just got an expired deal. That's why I'm hot on expireds right now. I think they're great.
Nice.
And
what kind of deal was it?
It was it was supposed to be a sub 3%. And it was a lake house right up I'm in New Hampshire. I'm in the New Hampshire market. So like typically if anything comes in New Hampshire, I want to see about it's creative because if it's a deal, I want to buy it. And this gentleman from Long Island called me. He got an expired. He's outside of our own community, which is great. It's fine. But he goes, I called him. Cash wouldn't work. I asked, hey, can we take over your mortgage? He saw a deal sauce that said like 3.1%. and it was actually like 3.125 or something.
Oh, wow.
So I was going to overpay for it. And I'll get to this, what I'm doing right here, but just to give you the backstory, I was going to overpay for it. I did the Zooms, did all the things, held this person's hand the whole way. All of a sudden he goes, I'm having a baby, bro. Can we just do cash? So I was going to pay him 410. I bought it from him from 305. He left $100,000 on the table. He left.
Oh,
Wow. Boom.
So I was going to do a sub 2 deal, pumped, but you know what? And I was going to give him 50,000 down.
oh,
He'd
so
rather lose 100, he only had 100 in equity, took 100, left 100 on the table. Insane.
that's crazy for him.
And I said, he was a nice dude. He has a job, the whole thing. Like, I think he just panicked the first kid. And I go, you sure you want to do this? He's like, yeah, dude, that's fine.
Let's get it done. Yeah.
So ended up being a cash deal. I'm just going to get a DSCR.
Nice. Yeah. Refi out.
I already bought it with a hard private money from a friend. And so anyway,
that's solid. Again,
just
man.
to show you that an expired, like those are deals that go left, right. Hey, guys, it doesn't have to be a creative deal. All right. You can pivot, and you might pivot in the middle of a deal. So I'll stop talking about that. But what I'm showing you guys here is expired listing. And then you can search how far back you want to go where that status was changed. I think we want to go back maybe to October. All right. Let's see that maybe one expired. And especially if you're looking for multifamily or something bigger, something that might take longer to sell, give it a little bit more time. And then we'll go to current day. So what do we got? 161. So same thing. We can filter by actually AI score now. We can filter by.
Oh, I love that.
So let's see what comes to the top of the heap.
Love to hear about that AI score thing too. That sounds really interesting.
So we have investments, and now guys, we can eliminate some of these investors, and if we wanted to. I like dealing with homeowners, and absolutely we can go through the AI, but really you can see here on the right-hand side, the scores that it's giving you.
Okay.
And wholesale is typically the higher the score on any of these, except for the retail. But the higher the score, the more stress, right? Rental, most likely to sell to a landlord, the higher the score. Wholesale, most likely to sell at a discount within 90 days. And I mean, again, you can see here, but this score gets pretty high sometimes, and you don't see any inkling of why. Those are the ones I like, where they're not going to show up on any list, like this one. This person is a little bit high. They're pretty high. They're above 500s. They're a long-term owner with free and clear. Are they making financial decisions or something that we can't see? Because what we're reading is hundreds of thousands of data points. There's not any human interaction in any of this. And we read it every month. So every month we recalibrate every property.
Wow. So these scores are AI generated scores?
All AI. And it's reading everything from move in, move out of an address, how frequent, credit, car purchases. We can go back if they're old enough, and if it's steady enough, we can go back to about 1980s in some instances. Now that's a little bit rare, but the older generations, we can see deeper into them.
Right.
But yeah, it's only going to get better. And every month it gets better and better and better. So when someone asks what the list is to pull, if you are just a genuine wholesaler and you're pulling lists and marketing and mailing, and maybe it's prop AI, or you're doing a lot of organic outbound, that is the list I would pull. But yeah, so this one's expired. It's free and clear. You can see that there's some distress. Anything over 500, we throw the little fire emoji. We might throw extra fire emojis as it gets bigger.
Love it.
But you can call and say, what's going on? I see you tried to sell, and what can I do differently? So
I love the
that's
AI.
what I would do.
That's where it's at, right? I mean, you got to find a way to integrate that, and you did.
Yeah. And I mean, you can filter this down. We can get rid of some of these investors. You can get rid of the banks and the trusts and all that. If you want to just go to straight homeowners, do that. You're going to have to skip trace that. And if you don't have skip tracing, we're trying to bring that in here for free. That's another negotiation. Don't quote me. Don't go to support. Don't tell them I said that. We're trying. All right. Don't quote me. But the other thing is truepeoplesearch.com. All right. You can search that person's address, put their name in truepeoplesearch.com. You get it for free if you don't want to pay the 10 cents for skip tracing. That's what I suggest.
Resource. I like that one.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, the deal that we're buying, the motel that we're buying here in New Hampshire, the gentleman, he's a wholesaler. I just met him. He's a young kid. Guys, he was driving by this place. So again, driving for dollars, love it. You can take a driving for dollars list that you can generate organically and upload it into here and let it regurgitate and show the mechanics liens, let it show the liens. Let's do a colonoscopy. I'm going to use a nasty one on you. Let's go deep. All right. And
get all that data, get all in there. Right?
And aggregate it to give me the most likely to give me the top of the heap. Filter that driving for dollars list from the most likely to sell that we think to the least. And I'm going to start at the top. But the gentleman he drove by this motel. He pulled over. We have snow up here, obviously. He said, I didn't see any snow, no tracks, no one driving in this motel parking lot. So I figured it was abandoned. Pulled over. He said he skip traced it. Didn't get the right phone number. He went to truepeoplesearch.com. Got another phone number. The owner picked up.
Come on.
Right on the side of the road, 2 phone calls, $50,000.
Whoa, home run off of a free True People search.
Right.
So guys, like Google the numbers too. If you get stonewalled, go Google it. There's people changing numbers and home lines get changed to cell phones and so on and so forth. So I'm going to stop right there for now. I've said a lot.
This is really good, Jules, right? I mean,
yeah, this is amazing. Yeah. So guys, I mean, oh, wow. It took us through so much, the background of Deal Sauce, how to find some fix and flippers. Edwin, hopefully he went through and he showed you how to find a 4.3 in Fort Lauderdale. Just click some buttons, guys, and just getting that information. So for Justin, for our audience out there, if someone new is just getting started, they have limited funds, right? So no money, don't know where to start. Where would you point them to start? And they want to start wholesaling, I should say. They want to wholesale. What would you recommend?
Great question. So first of all, you can get on here for 2 weeks, saucemydeals.com. You get 2 free weeks. Yes. If you don't like it, cancel it. But you get 2 weeks. So if you don't pull a list and figure out who's in your backyard, I always say, figure out your backyard. And Jules, can I show something in here? So these are all things that I've created, but there's a launch pad in here and everyone who can come in here, again, there's the barrier of entry is nothing. It's free. Go to active on market, low equity, you get the agent's information, go call those. Again, barrier of entry is free. If you have a cell phone, if you don't have a cell phone, go to get a Google Voice number. Those are free. So again, no excuses. But even more, if you're looking for more information, I just did this avatar training, which I'm going to do another one coming up. But I went through the top, the first 5 avatars that Pace Morby did. Now, if you don't know what the avatar series is, let me go to here and show you what that is. Just look at the guide. Okay. Figure out who you are. Figure out who you are. Are you a direct to seller visionary? Mm-hmm. Again, we're not just trying to you can tell this has got a bit of Pace's taste in here, but this isn't just to collect your subscription fee and that leaving you alone. Who cares? No, we want you doing deals.
Yes.
So we're going to educate you and we're going to push you and we're going to bring more and more of this. So I'm trying to bring motivational videos in. We're going to try to we're going to do everything we possibly can to kick you in the behind to do deals.
I love it.
But also figure out who you are. But maybe you're a direct to agent. You're going to just do direct to agent. Maybe you're a unicorn or you're a closer, a gator, bird dog. That's one of the best things. Sorry for the screen, but that's one of the best features that I would do. I would go find someone's buy box. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what a buy box is, let me show you. Down here, I have all these trained. I did 5 avatars. I'm going to do 5 more. How do I pick my market I went into? All right. We went to what a direct to seller is. I give you some cheat sheets on what to do there. Direct to agent. This is all from some of the homies that are inside of Sub 2 as well. So these are vetted professionals.
Mhm.
and unicorn agent. So we're hearing from a real estate agent. I have a bird dog hunter, Rachel Davis. She is one of the go-getters that I love so dearly. She's
I love
pretty,
her. I love her. She's my girl.
yeah, she's really great. And she's, that military background, I think, is what
That's right. Yeah.
has a lot of drive. So you guys, man, I love that. So what you could do is go on, I give you some tips right here. Go on Pace Morby's free Facebook group. Where is it? Free creative Facebook group. Find deals, send them to buyers. Go search on the magnifying glass. Buy box, Georgia, buy box, New Hampshire, buy box, Florida. I don't know, South Florida. Find people that were in your market, in your area, that you're finding and locating deals, and go hunt. Figure out what they like and go hunt for those deals, or go marry them to opportunities. You can go in the free Facebook group and you can find deals that other people have. They did the work. Marry them. I showed you in the beginning here. There was you go into Florida and all those wholesaler have opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to have the money to do the ad spend and the outreach, you could marry those deals to someone and make a fee. Some of those are free ways, but I think
all gold, Justin. I mean, you got no barrier for entry.
Nope.
2 weeks to get on. You have all these are resources right inside of the system, right? You log in, you can see this.
Yeah, right in the launch pad. I'm trying to put more and more. There's a bunch of help videos here. My YouTube has a bunch of help videos there too. There's nothing there but really Deal Sauce anymore. It's just training after training and some of these type of conversations. I don't suggest you do all the content listening. I suggest you just go in here and start taking action. But yeah, the avatar guide, figure out who you are. I give you some cheat sheets. This is the first cheat sheet. It's like, you guys know this. What's the fastest way to a deal? Pre-foreclosure, door knocking.
Mm-hmm.
I told you that right here.
All day. This is great. Incredible. This is way different than anything else too. You don't get this step-by-step guide of how to get in, on top of getting in for free. And then here's your steps in order to make money.
That's right.
That's it. I mean, we're just trying to give more and more resources. Low equity cheat sheet. Like, what is a low equity deal? You're going to call active low equity cheat sheet? Like, we're kind of giving you some dirt in here. It's a little bit wordy, but if you actually look at it, don't negotiate price, negotiate the terms. Don't argue the price. This isn't a cash deal. No equity. So we're just trying to tell you, like, if you don't know, we're trying to get you there.
That's right.
That's all. There's a lot of information out there.
This is huge, Justin. So good.
Yeah. So I would suggest that if you guys do have deals, if you do have opportunities, that there are opportunities, go take that list that you guys will have in the description. It's not there right this second, but you guys need to come back to your YouTube channel and look in the description, give them a like, subscribe, do the whole thing, please. They're giving you guys a list. And if you have deals that a buyer on that list may need. So let's say you pull that buyer's list of 12,000 names that we gave you and skip traced. They buy active fix and flips in Fort Lauderdale. And you pull up Fort Lauderdale and you see there's 5 people in there. And you see a deal in I think it said North Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if it's the same thing, but there's a potential that person might need that deal. Now, I'm just showing you how to take action, or you go in the free Facebook group and take the buyer's list and marry that deal that you see on the free Facebook group. Hey, would you ever buy a 3-2 on Main Street? You still flipping? Yeah, I'm flipping. You got deals? Yeah, I got a deal. Here, I'm going to send it to you.
Right.
Done. Connect A and B.
Get permission to sell someone else's deal. Hey, if I bring a buyer, can I make a fee? Yes. Perfect. Let me go hunt. That's it.
It's all right there.
That's it. Right there.
So yeah, love it.
That's incredible. So we'll get you that list. Thank you for that, Justin. That's powerful. 12,000. Use that, as Justin just explained to you. I gave you the whole guide there. There's multiple ways to do this and connect these dots together. Taking the action, right? It's just about doing it. It sounds easy because it really is. It's easy to not do it, and it's easy to do it. You just got to keep doing it and following through.
90 days.
Yeah, 90 days to have. Yeah, guys.
Minimum.
Wow. That's just amazing, Justin. Thank you so much for sharing that and sharing all your tips. And guys, there's no excuses. try out Deal Sauce, get in, take action, and take a look at all the active guides that Justin, he's a lot of hard work for us. So, he is in the community for the community. So guys, please support and go check it out, man. Let's make some deals and make some money. Love it.
You get an opportunity, you go put it out there. You go find someone else to bird dog your opportunity.
For sure.
Like you can bring someone else in to go sell your deal so you can go out and hunt again.
I love it.
But yeah, there's a lot in here. Don't get shiny object. I don't know what else to say other than we're trying to give you the recipe for nothing.
And you're doing great with that. What's your YouTube channel, Justin, for everybody to follow you?
Just look up my name, Justin Tuminowski, or to shorten that last name of Tuminowski, it's Real Estate Justin. You can do either one. But just a ton. There's like 70 Deal Sauce videos.
Wow.
So if you're looking for a strategy in there, or maybe just like, hey, how do I look for on-market deals again? There's like a 4-minute video in there. I'm very wordy, but I'm limiting the words on some of those videos.
You're getting it in there. That's great. Heck yeah. Well, look for Deal Sauce, look for Justin, Real Estate Justin on YouTube, and 70 or so videos on this program, everybody. That's incredible. Thanks for doing all this. This is great.
Yeah. My pleasure. It's for all of us.
Yeah. And thank you so much for being on here. We're so honored to have you, Justin, and to provide this to our audience. Guys, give it up for Justin, man. Go support him on his channel. Look him up and support Deal Sauce. We love you guys. Anything else, Jim, Justin, before we close out?
It's been great. No, there's tons of value here. Thanks again, Justin.
Thank you guys. Thank you for leading. Thank you for doing this podcast. You don't have to do it. You guys don't have to show up at night and do this whole thing. So I enjoy it. Thank you. You guys are honestly the big value providers in this community. I don't think anyone give them love, please. Go share, subscribe, go in this description when you're done watching this. And I'll see you guys in California.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.